the British missile and the U.S. drone, the HIMARS, the mobile long range artillery. It's really more like a missile battery, but it looks like a big artillery gun. The Russians figured out how to disable the GPS. It's sort of like, I think of it as a cruise missile fired from a cannon, very potent, except if you disable the GPS, the shell doesn't know where it's going, and they're landing harmlessly. They're getting blown up. So, and the F-16 won't be any different. The war may be over before then. So the point is, so then Zelensky's begging for ammunition. The Ukrainian offensive just started about a week ago. It's failing badly. Casualties are high. This armor I talked about is being blown up. Most of the Ukrainian armor are old Russian tanks. I think the T-62. They're getting blown up. They're in open fields, and they don't have any air cover, and the Russians are destroying them. And so all these so-called miracle weapons don't work. So what is Zelensky begging for now? Ammunition. It's not even, what good is a high-tech cannon if you don't have any shells? And the U.S. has provided this. The U.S. is begging South Korea, hey, could you send them some ammo? And South Korea is like, well, we'll ship it to Poland and maybe they can do it. We want to keep our hands clean. But some of this is coming from South Korea. The Poles are out. The Brits are out. The Americans are out. Say, oh, well, wait a second. Whose economy is suffering? Whose arsenals are being depleted? Who's spending all the money? Who's bankrupting their own economy? It's the United States and our allies, not the Russians. So everyone said, well, it's called the factory and order some more ammo. No, we shut down those assembly lines a long time ago, and we're depleting our arsenals. You know how long it takes to retool a factory to start producing stuff once you've shut it down? The answer is about 2 years. So this war will be over. So sorry to be kind of go on, but the point is every single goal or metric that the U.S. set has not come true for the Russians and has come true for the U.S. We're the ones being depleted. We're the ones spending the money. We're the ones failing. The Ukrainians sadly are suffering the casualties, like over 200,000 at this point. Russia's got a secure hold on the so-called land bridge from Rostov-on-Don to Crimea. They got their eye on Odessa. They've had a year to build major fortifications. The Ukrainian advance, which they're losing, I mean, they're basically attacking and getting beaten back by the Russians. Those are the outer perimeter. That's the Russian perimeter that's relatively lightly stocked compared to the much stronger fortifications. The Ukrainians haven't even gotten through them. And this is like Pickett's charge, at Gettysburg, where Lee had a success at Chancellorsville, not too many months before Gettysburg, where he just charged and he broke through the Union lines and disrupted it and won the battle, etc. And they were going to do a replay with Pickett's charge, except the Union line held, the Confederates were beaten back and they retreated. And that was the beginning of the end of the Confederate war effort. And then, the rest is history, as they say.
I just want to alert everyone to an important video that you've just recorded that will not be available to the public. Here, you discuss the upcoming geopolitical shockwave of what you call the most significant development in international finance since 1971. But then you explain how anyone can position themselves to profit from this crisis. Our viewers can access that video at londonreal.tv/Jim, and I highly recommend that everyone go watch that immediately after our conversation.
So that's kind of what's happening to Ukraine right now. But the U.S. won't quit. And so now they want the F-16s, which won't be any different. They'll just get shot down. And so then he said, where does it end? And so you see this guy, Ciamarella, Eric Ciamarella, he's wrote an article. He was the rat in the Trump impeachment. Remember the phone call with Zelensky, as if, how many times, Biden's been to Kiev talking to Zelensky, but Trump makes one phone call and he gets impeached. But the guy who got the transcript of the call from Vindman and delivered it to Adam Schiff and routed out Trump and started the whole impeachment thing, it was in the National Intelligence Council. I used to work there. It's like a big brain wing of the CIA. He was the rat. Well, he just wrote an article. He's now at the Carnegie Endowment. Where else, right? And they're going to the Korean model. They're saying, well, okay, we're clearly losing, but let's not lose. let's have like an armistice. And by the way, the Korean War is not over. What they did in 1953, they had an armistice. They stopped shooting and had a line of control, DMZ. But there's never been a peace treaty, and technically North and South Korea are still at war. But what they want is an armistice in Ukraine, stop the fighting, here's the line, and we'll figure it out, which would basically be an opportunity to rest and rearm Ukraine before the warmongers start the war again. Why would Russia agree to that? I mean, Russia's winning. Why would you agree to an armistice? I mean, that's how World War I ended before the Versailles Treaty. So I just see people who are delusional, who don't understand the economic side of war, which is a big deal. Think you can push a button and get weapons, and you can't. It takes years to retool those assembly lines. Think money's unlimited, and it's not. And have this just irrational. I'm talking about Fiona Hill, George Kent, Victoria Nuland, Tony Blinken, Jake Sullivan. These people are political hacks who are not that bright, and Biden's feeble-minded, and that's who's running U.S. policy.
Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.